Alrighty, we're live here. Thank you guys for joining today's live stream. We're going to be talking about Hurricane Idalia moving in, making landfall in Florida as we move into your Wednesday morning time frame. So we're going to be giving you all the updates that you need to know to stay ahead of the storm. If you live in the state of Florida, around the southeast, the Carolinas, Georgia, all those areas here over the next, say, 24 hours. So we're going to be talking about that. So be sure to press the like button down below, subscribe if you are new, and pressing the like button definitely helps to get more people on this live stream, so I do appreciate that. Thank you everybody for joining me on this beautiful Tuesday evening. I am up here in northern Illinois. So looking here, we are looking at a very interesting Western Atlantic IR satellite. This is the infrared satellite imagery. We have hurricane, or major hurricane rather, Franklin across the Western Atlantic just to the west of Bermuda. And then we have hurricane, soon to be major hurricane Idalia, that is across portions of the Eastern Gulf, has its eyes set on the Big Bend of Florida and the Northwest Florida area. So we're going to be watching this system very closely, and let's kind of get into the finer details. This is the latest update from the National Hurricane Center, or the NHC, this evening. This does bring it to a major hurricane at a Category 3 upon landfall, as it makes landfall in the northwestern Big Bend of Florida there as we go into your Wednesday morning. Now, right now, the current estimation of timing of landfall tomorrow morning will be between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. So that is the estimation of when this will make landfall tomorrow morning. So really give or take around mid-morning tomorrow. So if you live in the Big Bend of Florida, you are going to see some major, if not extreme, impacts from the storm. Massive storm surge. We'll get to that in a moment as well. We will be seeing lots of widespread flash flooding, destructive winds as well. A Category 3 does pack winds of over 110 to 115 miles per hour with this as it makes landfall. Looking at the current trajectory with this system, is moving north at 16 miles per hour, so it does have a lot of forward progress on it here as of now. So that is something we want to keep in mind, is that's a good thing. We want it to continue to move very quickly. That has less time over the warmer waters. The more time over the warm water here, the more time it will remain to get strength to strengthen more across the eastern Gulf of Mexico. So we have those hurricane warnings in red here, and that does extend down toward the Tampa Bay region. Tropical storm warnings in blue, and that's from around Daytona Beach through Jacksonville, Savannah, Charleston, Myrtle Beach, and on up toward Wilmington there. Even tropical storm watches as far north as the Virginia and North Carolina state line there on the Outer Banks. So we do have this system reaching far and wide, and very interesting. Looking at the cone of uncertainty, it has a Category 1 hurricane still remaining intact through early tomorrow afternoon as it moves into southern and southeastern Georgia. So even into southeastern Georgia, yeah, it's looking likely we could be seeing a Category 1 hurricane as we go into the early afternoon hours on your Wednesday. That's on August 30th tomorrow. So definitely seeing that as we head into your Wednesday for sure, and then dropping back to tropical storm strength right along the coastline there. I'll really be watching for a flash flooding threat to set up around the Charleston, Myrtle Beach area here, and then getting up to Wilmington, North Carolina. Really going to be a big deal with the threat of rainfall up here. And even outside of the cone, these impacts will stretch down toward Orlando, Jacksonville, Gainesville, Florida, the Tallahassee region, and some impacts as well up toward Columbia, South Carolina there. Maybe even toward the Raleigh region, we could be seeing some very heavy rainfall into North Carolina as we go over the next several days. So we're going to continue to watch this. That is the latest update right now. Maximum sustained winds of 105 miles per hour. That keeps it at a Category 2 for now, but it will be strengthening to a Category 3 as we move forward in towards the evening hours here through the evening tonight, and then into the early morning hours on your Wednesday. So let's look at the storm surge that this system is going to be putting down across this region. And what is to be known about storm surge, folks, is that storm surge is over normally dry ground. So if you're near the coastline and that ground is normally dry, this is the water and how much water is expected on top of that normally dry ground, especially near the coast. But even some of the storm surge could be moving far inland with these storms, especially Cat 3s. I mean, we're talking about a lot of water here. Where you see the the purples up here into the Big Bend of Florida where it makes landfall or expected to make landfall. That's where we could see the highest storm surge of 10 to 15 feet. Folks, we have 10-foot ceilings in most of our homes, and that's at least of how high this water will pile up, if not up to 15 feet. So this is as high as a rooftop, folks. So this is taking it seriously. We need to take it seriously. And you do not need to be near the coastline. If you have not evacuated already, you really do need to get out of there across the Big Bend of Florida here and really the west coast of Florida down to Tampa Bay. We could be even seeing some 7 to 11 foot storm surge in either side of that area. Also down to Tampa Bay there, seeing 4 to 6 foot storm surge in Tampa Bay. So that's still pretty high, folks. A lot of us are about 6 feet tall. So you already know how high that water could pile up. That's pretty tall, and that could definitely cause a lot of issues there for the Tampa Bay region. Further to the south, Fort Myers, Naples, Florida down there into southwest Florida, we're talking 3 to 5 foot and then dropping back to 2 to 4 foot storm surge still in its own right. If you're near the coast, that's going to present us with some issues down into those areas. And then further south toward the Florida Keys, we're going to be seeing more of that 1 to 2 to even 1 to 3 foot storm surge. So definitely seeing big impacts here, and it doesn't stop there. It goes across portions of northeast Florida through the coastal Georgia and the Carolinas. I'm expecting 2 to 4 foot storm surge up here into Myrtle Beach, Charleston, and even Savannah, Georgia, especially again near the coastline, up to 4 foot storm surge for those areas. So again, Myrtle Beach, Charleston, and Savannah, Georgia, and vicinity. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that as it moves further south into the Jacksonville region. Jacksonville Beach, for example, that's up to 3 foot storm surge in those areas. And then as you get up toward the Wilmington region, we could be seeing up to 4 foot storm surge in some of those areas. So definitely a big system for the Southeast. This is, a first time hurricane this year. We need to be prepared, and hopefully all of us are across the Southeast. Regardless, if you live in North Georgia, Western Carolinas, we're still going to be seeing some heavier rainfall here at times across those areas. So definitely be prepared for some of those flash flooding concerns as well. This is a multifaceted system. This will likely be providing us with lots of different impacts from tornadoes to flash flooding with very heavy rain to storm surge, destructive winds as it makes landfall here. We could still be seeing those tropical storm force winds well through the day on Wednesday and into Thursday as it moves toward the eastern Carolinas. So let's talk about the water temperatures real quick here, because the waters are warm. This system is in an area right now in the eastern Gulf where the waters are 31, 32 degrees Celsius. If you convert that over to Fahrenheit, we're easily talking water temperatures well into the 80s, if not hotter. So this is presenting us with some big concerns. The system is going to likely undergo rapid intensification right up to landfall as it makes its way up there into northwestern Florida. So this does need to be watched. This is a prime environment. Hurricanes love warm waters, and it's certainly getting all it can take here across the eastern Gulf right now, and favorable wind shear environment. Hurricanes don't like wind shear. The lower the wind shear, the better, and this is an environment in which we have very warm waters and very low wind shear. So that's a recipe for a major hurricane to develop, and that's exactly what we expect as we go into your Wednesday. So let's look at the HRRR model. Does very well in the short term. So let's look at what this has in store for us going into your Wednesday time frame. You can see the system starting to wind itself up. It will intensify overnight tonight. So as we're sleeping down here across the Southeast, whether you're in Alabama, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, wherever you are, it's going to be strengthening as we go through the overnight hours. This is about midnight here tonight, and you can see the outer bands, the real strong heavy rain tornado threat will really start to maximize there for Tampa Bay on up there into the Big Bend of Florida. So if you live especially in those areas, we need to be concerned about that threat as we move further into the day tomorrow morning. And then going further into the morning hours, it's still strengthening upon landfall. So right up to the shelf waters there into the the northeast Gulf of Mexico, up into northwest Florida, those shelf waters are still very warm. Again, shelf waters are very shallow bodies of water there into the Gulf, and they're very warm too. So it's going to be strengthening all the way up to landfall. That is something to definitely consider and watch as we go through the day. I am concerned about a tornado threat more so tomorrow than we've had today. I know we probably had some tornadoes at times across central and southwest Florida today. and definitely looking for the potential for more tornadoes going into the day tomorrow. So that is something to watch out for. This does include most of North Florida. So you are under that tornado threat if you live in Jacksonville, Orlando, Gainesville, Tallahassee, Tampa Bay, maybe as far south as the Fort Myers region and Naples. And then getting over here into the northwest side of Florida, we're watching you folks as well. Maybe as far west as Panama City for a tornado threat, but I think the eastern side of the system across really Orlando and then the Gainesville region, Tampa Bay will be really in the prime spot for tornadic development potentially. And that'll be early on in the morning. This is 5 o'clock in the morning. So that is something to watch as we go deeper into the morning hours. Then it's likely to make landfall. Now, the HRRR does not have this making landfall till about 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. So that's exactly what I expected, was around a mid-morning landfall in northwestern Florida, and eventually as it makes landfall, as you know, if it goes over land, it will slowly begin to weaken. But the National Hurricane Center does think that it's going to be moving into southern and southeastern Georgia as a Category 1 hurricane still as it crosses into those areas. So still pretty impressive, this system, structure-wise. We'll go back and look at it on the satellite in just a moment, but moving up here into tomorrow afternoon, this is 2 o'clock. And yeah, we're seeing widespread, very heavy rain across Georgia, South Carolina, definitely seeing lots of rain here. Those rain bands will be in full force across the Myrtle Beach region, Charleston, Savannah, Georgia there, maybe getting a little bit of a break as this system becomes more northern loaded as it moves inland. So into central Georgia, we could be seeing some very heavy tropical moisture type rain bands there. We could be seeing those 1 to 2 inch or even 3 inch per hour rainfall rates. These are very, very heavy rains. You don't get any heavier rain than a tropical system. I promise you that. As I could speak for myself, as I used to live in Naples, Florida. I did go through Hurricane Charlie, and they saw some very heavy rainfall with that as well. So, and then as we go into Wednesday afternoon, again, the concern is going to drop away from hurricane strength, but to a tropical storm for the Carolinas, and it's really going to be on those tropical storm force winds, the storm surge. We're going to have that onshore flow to Myrtle Beach, to Charleston, to Wilmington, and vicinity across North Carolina as we go into your evening hours on your Wednesday. So tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, we're going to see onshore flow. That means we're going to see the water from out in the ocean push toward the coastline. That's going to present us with the storm surge impacts there across portions of the Carolinas, along with the inland threat for flooding. So if you don't see water inland, you're going to see water from rainfall, that's for sure. So that is something to watch. Definitely a flash flooding event there for the Carolinas. And we could be seeing some heavier rainfall further inland. Like I said, Columbia, South Carolina, you're in play for some moderate to heavy tropical rain bands for you, even up toward the Raleigh region. While you're probably not seeing the very, very heavy rains as we're seeing in eastern North Carolina, central North Carolina toward Raleigh there, we may start to see those lighter to moderate rain bands move in. Some wind gusts as well as we go into your Thursday morning time frame up there. So that is something we'll continue to watch. And then off we go to the east with this system on Thursday, and we put an end to what was a busy next couple of days. So we have to get through the next 48 hours, folks. And once we do, this system will be in the books. So hopefully everybody is staying safe out there and heeding all the warnings, that is for sure. What about Tampa? Tampa, I'm expecting the potential for tornadoes to really be maximized this evening into the overnight hours into tomorrow morning. Tampa is going to be in that storm surge risk. If you live in Tampa Bay, I'm expecting 4 to 6 foot storm surge for you overnight tonight into your Wednesday morning. So be watching out for that 4 to 6 foot storm surge. You know, like I said, most of us are about 5 to 6 feet tall, give or take. So that's about as high as that water will pile up. Not just near the coastline, but even further inland as well toward the Tampa Bay region. So definitely be watching out for that, along with very heavy rainfall. Let's look at the rainfall amounts here as well. Very interesting. Looking at the rainfall, not snowfall. We don't need to look at that yet. Yeah, rainfall amounts are going to be pretty significant, especially where that eye wall comes inland. But Tampa Bay, we're talking at least 4 to 5 inches of rain for you. Getting up into the Tallahassee region, Gainesville, a few inches of rain for you. And then up into southeast Georgia and the eastern Carolinas, there's the HRRR model. You can see the oranges here. It's suggesting the potential for up to a foot of rain. Now, will this be realized? It's one model run. You can't take one model run and run with it to the bank, but definitely, seeing the potential there for 10 to 12 inches of rain. With that, let's look at a different model here. Let's look at the high resolution guidance. This is just getting rendered now. Let's go back to the 12Z here. Yeah, it's still showing that as well. So there are going to be areas localized anyway, not widespread that see a foot of rain, but there definitely could be an area or two. It looks like into South Carolina or southeastern Georgia that could see 10 to 12 inches of rain. Definitely a possibility with this system. So make sure to hit the like button down below, everybody, if you're enjoying the live stream, and also hit the subscribe button or consider subscribing to the channel if you're new here. We do daily weather forecast updates. I will not be doing a video tomorrow morning because I will be doing live updates on Twitter. So if you don't have me on Twitter tomorrow, make sure you follow me on Twitter at hweather420. It is in the description down below. The live stream. So make sure to follow me there. I will be doing live updates throughout the morning and into the afternoon covering this storm from top to bottom here on Twitter. So make sure you follow me there. Thank you so much, Tony Wilson, for the donation. Everybody give Tony Wilson a round of applause in the chat. Thank you so much. What is your prediction for the height of the storm surge? Also, which specific area will see the worst of this? Also, way to go, Florida. Sicko. To answer your first question about the storm surge, the strongest storm surge is expected into the Big Bend of Florida. That's where we could see 10 to up to as high as 15-foot storm surge. Okay, so that's higher than most of our roofs are on our homes. So that will be across where the eye wall does make landfall tomorrow morning. And right now, that's expected into the Big Bend area there of Florida. So up there toward like Tallahassee and those areas. Cedar Key is a big one. Cedar Key is an area to watch with the worst of this storm and expectancy with this storm. So we're watching that. Like Tampa Bay, 4 to 6 foot storm surge there. Fort Myers, about 3 to 5 foot storm surge. Naples, 2 to 4 foot. And then down into the Florida Keys, we're seeing 1 to 3 foot. The other side of Florida, Jacksonville, 1 to 3 foot storm surge, up to 4 feet from Savannah, Georgia, Myrtle Beach, and Charleston, South Carolina. And then further up there toward Wilmington, North Carolina, we're seeing up to 4 foot storm surge there as well. So this is a far wide reaching system. Yeah, the specific area I see the worst of this, Tony, is actually probably the Cedar Key region in Florida. Very low lying up in those areas there in northwest Florida, and that's where we're expecting probably one of the worst areas for storm surge as well. So low lying, lots of storm surge. That's going to be a problem for those areas. But thank you for the donation. I really, truly do appreciate it. All right. Does anybody have any questions regarding this storm? Definitely here to answer any of your questions that you do have. I'll be live here for a little while. How many models are forecasting this to circle back? Well, we're not going to worry about that right now. What we're worried about is a landfalling system here early on through the day tomorrow. And if it does circle back, I promise you it's not going to circle back and be a hurricane. It's just not going to happen. But there's some models, yes, I did see that earlier when some of the 12Z and 18Z models like the GFS and the Euro and also the Canadian and all those other models, the Icon model was coming out. It was showing the, at least moisture moving back into the east coast of Florida there, into the Bahamas, but that's a few days out. So things can always change with that. And with tropical systems, things do change very quickly. So we're not going to worry about that until that time gets closer. All right. Yeah, make sure to hit that like button, folks. Let's get over 100 likes here in the next few minutes. I'd appreciate that. We're up to 88. More likes we get, the more people who join the live stream. So I appreciate it. I'm here to answer any of your questions for sure this evening. And consider subscribing to the channel. Follow me on Twitter. Like I said, I'll be having live updates on Twitter throughout the day tomorrow. I will not be doing a weather forecast video tomorrow. So again, if you guys are looking for that, I know I do daily updates on this channel very frequently with my weather forecast videos. There will not be one tomorrow. Okay, just know that. I will be back with that on Thursday. So we'll do that again on Thursday. Yeah, more rain if it circles back, but again, it's a low confidence forecast right now, Star. Low confidence. So again, looking at the sea surface temperatures, this is what that storm's feeding off of. Let's go back to the infrared satellite imagery. Let's go back here and let's look at the Gulf of Mexico. Let's actually zoom into Idalia here. Very nice system. There is an eye wall that is really starting to blow up there, especially in the western edge of the eye wall right now. Definitely seeing that really big impacts there. We're seeing the outer bands of the system moving into western Florida. So Tampa Bay, you're likely in the crosshairs of some very heavy rain, some storm surge right now. So you're already seeing the impacts right now. And every minute, every hour that goes by, the impacts are going to become more extreme across the Big Bend of Florida. We're really starting to see those outer bands moving in, and that is going to be moving in very quickly here in the overnight hours and early tomorrow morning. Like I said, the landfall is expected around mid-morning on Wednesday across the northwestern side of Florida. Any other storms brewing in the Atlantic? Not right now. There are a couple of tropical waves moving off of Africa that we'll look at, but those are 10 days out, so those are low confidence as well. But there definitely is something to watch that may move into the Western Atlantic or the Caribbean, but again, that's beyond 10 days out, and that's being probably the second week in September, and we're not even in September yet. So, very low confidence forecast. We're going to deal with one storm at a time here. Yeah, definitely crunch time for the Big Bend. What's your thought on max category? I think this is going to make a landfall as a uh, either a very strong category 3 or a low end cat 4. Definitely a possibility. I think it's very possible it gets as high as a low end category 4 hurricane if it slows down a little bit, but right now it's moving quick. So probably just a strong cat 3, but you never know. There's a lot of warm water here, and if this eye continues to strengthen overnight like it can, yeah, low end cat 4 is possible. Yeah, the Gulf of Mexico is like a hot tub, right? Yeah, guys, if you're using all caps on the comments, I can see your comments without the all caps, just so you know. I don't mind. I don't mind you doing all caps. I'm just saying, just in general. One is more than enough. Well, it's an El Nino year, and the hurricane season does not always follow suit. So regardless, it's an El Nino year. We have warm waters. It doesn't matter if there's enough favorability, low wind shear, and a lot of warm waters. That's a recipe for tropical systems. That's for sure. What's the difference in the impacts between a cat? There's again, a lot of people get caught up on how strong a hurricane gets. It really doesn't matter. I mean, it matters, but it doesn't matter. I mean, whether it's a cat 3, a cat 4, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter the number of numerical value of how strong this storm is, because it's still going to be bringing the same impact regardless. Could the impacts be a little worse with a cat 4 than 3? Yes, but really at the end of the day, 10 to 15 foot storm surge is already extreme enough. So it really does not matter if it's a cat 3 or 4. And you're still going to see very heavy rain. You're still going to see strong winds. So at the end of the day, it's just a number. A category 3, category 4, category 5 just really doesn't matter. It's not going to be a category 5. I can tell you with utmost certainty this is not going to be a category 5. It's moving to the north at 16 miles per hour. It's too fast to stay over the open waters long enough to become a category 5. So we can just cross that off of the agenda for sure. But yeah, we're not seeing it just doesn't matter is what I'm saying. The number doesn't matter right now. It's just the impacts. And that's what people need to realize. Hey, weather watcher, how you doing? Good evening to you. And good evening to Star as well. I saw you in the chat. Yeah, make sure to hit that like button, folks. We're up to 101. Keep getting more people in here. I appreciate it. Consider subscribing to the channel if you're new. Yeah, watch my winter weather forecast, folks. If you're tired of hearing about heat and you're tired of hearing about hurricanes, tired of hearing about heat and hurricanes, my winter weather forecast is in the description below if you want to go check that out anytime. A lot of good information there and what I think will occur this winter. we're not too far away from fall, and we're not too far away from winter. Just a few months away from winter for sure, and just just less than a month now from fall. The water in the Gulf feels like a hot tub. Oh, you live down in Florida, do you, Valerie? I think how long a storm lingers more. Yeah, if it slows down and it's over the open water for longer, then yes, it's going to strengthen more quickly. So that's what we don't want to happen. We do not want it to strengthen any more than it is already. If anything, we want it to weaken as fast as possible. That's for sure. But yeah, you can see the eye wall right here. Look at the western side of that. You can see the big, tall cloud tops. When you see these maroon reds and the darker grays and stuff like that, that's on the western side of this eye wall. You definitely, or of the eye rather, it is an eye wall, but those are thunderstorm tops around 50, 60,000 feet most likely. So that's basically like what we see in the Great Plains when we get the big, large hail events and stuff like that. Those are thunderstorms that are real tall, 50, 60,000 foot. That's what we're seeing with the eye wall here, especially on that western side of Idalia. All the Alabama Gulf Coast. Well, you're definitely still going to be seeing some rip current issues probably, and probably some waves with this as well. Your wave heights out there in the Alabama Gulf Coast definitely going to probably get a lot higher over the next couple of days because of the system for sure. That is almost a guarantee. Yeah, I know. The eye, yeah, Weather Watcher. Yeah, the eye has definitely developed very rapidly over the past couple of hours. There was not much of an eye earlier on this afternoon, but man, this evening, that eye has shown up and it's gotten real strong, really in the past few frames. Here, let me kind of pause this real quick. Check this out, folks. Like, look at that eye. This was what time was this here? Yeah, this was about early evening, and then after dinner, boom, there's the eye. So this thing is already undergoing rapid strengthening. And with the eye looking like this, I think with the next issued advisory from the National Hurricane Center this evening or overnight, I think this will be a Category 3 solidly, if the eye continues to look like it does now. That is what I'm thinking. Hurricanes always wobble. Like it was wobbling to the east earlier a little bit, then it kind of wobbles back west. It wobbles from time to time. It just has to do with just a lot of different factors. With this, the intensity, yes, a little bit, the pressure differences, just a bunch of different things. We could spend a whole entire live stream talking about why a hurricane wobbles, but yeah, that's just some of the ingredients of why, or some of the reasons for that. But I appreciate everybody being here. Let's kind of look over here. Let's see what the icon model shows here at 18Z. Yeah, you can see it's basically saying the same thing. This is not a high resolution model, so we're not seeing those 12-inch rain bands like we see on the HRRR. Let's see what the NAM 3KM shows. The 0Z's coming out, and the NAM actually has it a lot further west, so it basically has it going straight north and hitting the western Big Bend of Florida instead of right in the middle there towards Cedar Key. So that's very interesting. Still an open possibility. Let's see what the GEM shows. Yeah, the GEM is pretty much in line with what a lot of the other models are showing. Um, Making landfall in the Big Bend there, and really the central part of the Big Bend. Let's see what the ARW. Yeah, this is very interesting. This one is 12Z earlier. Yeah, look at that rain band, folks. 12 inches of rain in southeast Georgia, and this is more towards eastern, maybe east central South Carolina and into southeastern North Carolina. Very heavy rain band. Wherever that middle of low pressure is, that's where we're going to have the heaviest rainfall for sure. Let's see what the other one shows, the second one. 0Z's coming out on that one. Let's see what 12Z showed. Yeah, see, the 12Z is the furthest west with this, so that's the difference. The first one here shows it moving. It's still west, but it has it kind of a lot heavier with the rain. And then the second run just makes up with the errors of the first run, just a different sample of the atmosphere. And it still has the heavy rain band, not as heavy, more of like 8 to 10 inches instead of up to a foot or so. And it also has the heavier rainfall a lot further inland. So the coastal areas don't see as much rain with this model run. This was back at 12Z on the WRF ARW2 model. That's on tropicaltidbits.com. So, yes, I definitely remember Katrina. I was living in Gulfport, Mississippi, and yes, Katrina was a bad hurricane. Absolutely, I agree. I'm glad you're okay though. Let's see here, 0ZH triple R. Yeah, that's what it's looking like. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit more here. I can't do that. Let's see. Eastern, that's even further out, so let's not do that either. This is as far zoomed in as I can get here with this weather model. Let's see if I can use this other one here. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, there's the numerical value. You probably can't see it very much, but yeah, it's showing where you see the whites and the like blues there, the lighter blues on the HRRR model. That's where we could be seeing those 7+, up to a foot of rain. So that's a big deal, folks. That's a lot of rain. And this is over just like a 12-hour period, too. This is like in a full day. So that's like an inch of rain at least an hour. If you're seeing 12 inches of rain in one day, that's a big deal. I've lived in Florida and Mississippi, was not present for Katrina, but have experienced storms. Yes, I have as well. I used to live in Naples. I went through Hurricane Charlie, a Cat 3. Actually, I think it was a Cat 3. Yeah, Cat 3. It might have even been a 4. I don't know. It seems like a distant memory at this point. I mean, that was back in 2004. So, but yeah, that is what we're seeing. If you guys can't hear I have an overhead fan on right now. When I'm in my room here talking about this, you guys can't hear that through the mic. I hope. I should have asked earlier, but I hope you cannot hear my fan. It's just warm in here. The air outside is not like really moving. We have calm winds. I have my windows open, but when you have calm winds this time of year, it's kind of muggy. So that's why I have to have the fan on. Just wondering. But yeah, I hope everybody's having a great evening out there. Again, keep pressing that thumbs up button. It really does help to get this information out to more and more people. I really appreciate it, and consider subscribing to the channel. You can always donate if you want to help us out and donate to keep this live stream rolling and to keep this channel going with these live streams more often during these bigger weather events. I also cover severe weather, stronger winter storms like nor'easters and stuff like that. So, and I do daily updates. If you're new to the channel, if you're wondering like what I do here, I cover all of North America for the most part, southern Canada, the United States, and the tropics on this channel. Definitely very accurate weather forecasts on here. I will provide you with as much accuracy as I possibly can. I just posted my winter forecast like a week or so ago, and you guys can go check that out. Lots of great information on there. That's in the description below if you want to go check it out. Make sure to leave a like and comment down below if you have any questions for that. Also, follow me on Twitter, hweather420. I'll be doing live updates tomorrow. No video tomorrow on my channel, though. On Weather on the Go, no channel. No channel video tomorrow. I will be back with a video update on Weather on the Go on Thursday. I almost forgot what day it was. Thank you, Brenda. I appreciate it. Thank you. You can't hear the fan, Tony? All right, good. I was just wondering because the fan's on high, just because I'm really warm. It's like I said, calm winds outside. It's still late August, so it still gets kind of humid and stuff like that with stagnant air outside. So I was just making sure. Yeah, so here's what we're seeing. That big eye wall here, definitely getting stronger, and it's almost it was like an oval shape earlier. It's starting to become a solid circle, and when we see these big thunders, it's starting to go on the southern side of this eye. And once it wraps completely around these darker maroon reds and grays and whites, that is going to probably mark the start of what is going to be a Category 3. If it's not even it might even be a Cat 3 right now, technically. It's already a 105-mile-per-hour hurricane, so it doesn't have that far to go. You don't do Twitter? That's all right. No worries. I just wanted to, some other people do, so. Yeah, and the craziest thing about this, folks, is if this isn't bad enough, we have a like a super moon going on, so that makes the tide a lot higher as well. So how rare is that? The next big blue super moon or whatever they call it is going to be in 2037, I believe, or 2034, something like that. So it won't be for a while. We'll put it that way. So yeah, once in a blue moon, it's a blue super moon, and it's definitely going to make the tide a lot higher for this as well. So if the storm surge isn't bad enough, yeah, the tide's already going to be high because of the supermoon, the blue supermoon. Why do you say that, Valerie? Just because a lot of people were talking about the hurricane on there, or what? I haven't really looked, so I have no idea. Poultry farmer in South Carolina, widespread power outages. Yes, absolutely. I am expecting, I wouldn't say widespread power outages, just a lot of flooding. There will be scattered instances of power outages in South Carolina. I am almost certain about that with tropical storm force winds, but I don't think like the entire state of South Carolina will be without power. That's not going to happen. The most vulnerable area in the South Carolina to lose power will probably be near the coast. So, like Myrtle Beach down to Charleston and then down to Savannah there into Georgia. That's probably the area I am most concerned about with more, scattered to numerous power outages there. And then still there could be some inland as well, but it's not going to be widespread, I wouldn't say. Unless the flooding, causes something crazy to happen and we have widespread power outages there. But that's about the only thing. Georgia, though, on the other hand, if it makes Category 1 strength still in southern Georgia after this makes landfall, it's the National Hurricane Center. I'll go back to the cone here. It has an H there in southern Georgia by early to mid afternoon tomorrow. It's still, the National Hurricane Center is still expecting a Category 1 hurricane in southern and southeastern Georgia. So there could be more power outages there than in South Carolina for sure with that hurricane force winds, 75-mile-per-hour winds at least there. So very interesting. Yeah, I have no idea, Valerie. I don't pay attention to that stuff. But yeah, so that's what we're seeing here. I can refresh this. I wonder, they gotta be. Let me go see if they're doing any here. Here's the aircraft recon of the storm. All right. Let's see. Are they doing another mission? So they already did mission number 11 earlier. They are en route for mission 12. It says the status is in progress right now. So they are currently getting ready. If not, they're getting, going through the eye wall again to see just for dropsondes and stuff like that to measure the storm's intensity. So they're doing that as we speak. The hurricane hunters are. So that is what we're seeing here. You can see the very strong winds here. We are seeing in the purples, that's where we see the strongest of winds. You see they did measure a pressure drop to 965 millibars earlier on near the eye there. So, and it's probably a little bit stronger than that now. So they're in the process of updating this very soon. So the new National Hurricane Center advisory will be out soon, and probably I would almost guarantee you it's a Category 3 at this point with what I'm seeing here. Jacksonville, I would expect some storm surge, lots of rain, and some at least tropical storm force, if not borderline hurricane force winds. When you're looking at storm surge in Jacksonville, up to 3 feet, maybe 4 foot storm surge at the highest there in Jacksonville, like Jacksonville Beach area. Lots of rain, like if I go over here, the HRRR model, at least a couple inches of rain there for Jacksonville is a very good bet going through the next 48 hours. The heaviest rains will probably be just west of Jacksonville, to be honest, or Tallahassee, Gainesville, Savannah, Georgia to the north, southeastern Georgia. So maybe a couple hours north and west of you. That's probably where the heaviest impacts will be as far as rain goes, but there's still going to be impacts well outside of the cone there. So yeah, Jacksonville, up to 4 foot storm surge possible, and lots of rain and a lot of wind as well. Probably more tropical storm force winds for you though in Jacksonville. Well, those planes that they fly to the hurricane hunters they're made to do that. So they know what they're doing. Trust me, it's not just a pilot who wants to fly into a hurricane just because. They've had a lot of training. I promise you that. No worries, Brenda. I understand that. No worries there. So yeah, make sure you follow me on Twitter. Anybody who has Twitter, make sure to follow me there, or X, Twitter X, whatever. Follow me there. I'll be doing daily updates. I'm trying to get to 300 followers. I'm already at 279 there on Twitter, so make sure to follow me. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Sorry, folks. I'm trying to. I see people already on Twitter. My title on here is Category 4. That's just because I'm expecting it to probably be a low end 4. Um, you know, but yes, I know it's not a 4. There's people out there. It's not a 4. Yeah, I know. It's not even really a 3 yet. So I'm just, you know. Alrighty. So yeah, this is the cone of uncertainty, and you can see how it kind of just that's what people are also. I know there's questions earlier. Is this going to recircle back toward Florida? Right now it has it as a tropical storm as it gets closer to Bermuda. So this could be an issue maybe for Bermuda as we go into late this upcoming weekend or early next week, Sunday, Monday time frame. Maybe having a tropical storm to deal with after Franklin over there. Major Hurricane Franklin is really spinning out there in the Western Atlantic too, near Bermuda, right, just west of Bermuda right now. Yeah, I don't have that. I don't have that. Uh, Reed Heath or Red Heath. All right, let's go back to the. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see. Do I not have it up? Okay. Let's go back to look at Idalia here. Let's actually zoom out the picture. It's kind of cool to see Hurricane Franklin alongside of this too. I mean, that's pretty insane. Like, look at this. Oh, that's not the right one. All right, just a second, folks. So many of these on here. Right here, look at that. You got Major Hurricane Franklin. That has a massive eye with it. Look at that. That's just west of Bermuda. And look how close these two storms are. I mean, it's crazy. And they're both hurricanes, which is even crazier. Probably around 1,000 miles away from each other or so. There goes your vacation plans while you're heading out to Bermuda, are you? Yeah, you'll be good. Yes, I hope everybody's prepared for the storm. Hopefully, everybody evacuated. Definitely some good news. Hopefully, people are heeding the warnings and everything, hurricane warnings, storm surge warnings, stuff like that. I know a lot of people will be heading to bed. I know it's Tuesday evening. A lot of people will be heading to bed here soon. So make sure if you live in the southeast, especially like the Carolinas and Georgia, just make sure to stay prepared for the storm going into early tomorrow. Because unlike severe weather, hurricanes don't stop overnight, and even sometimes severe weather doesn't stop overnight. Thankfully, we've had a break with that. Hurricanes do not stop overnight. That is for sure. They keep going on. Hurricanes are time machines. They just keep rolling and rolling and rolling until they can't no more. So does anybody have any questions regarding the impacts for your area? I can definitely just start throwing town names or at least, city names out there. I can give you a general idea of if you live in the southeast of what you can expect. You're in the Carolinas. Yeah, you're on the eastern side there. Yeah, so if you're in the eastern, North Carolina, eastern South Carolina, you're probably going to be in line for some tornadoes. Probably tomorrow evening into Thursday. So make sure you're staying up to date on that and all the information with that. I know the Storm Prediction Center, they do a great job with their outlooks for severe weather, and they also watch out for severe weather with tropical systems as well. I know there's a slight risk for severe weather, at least there, Florida and Georgia and even the Carolinas over the next couple of days. Man, this is like the best infrared satellite imagery I've ever seen in a while. I've seen in a while, like across the southeast United States. Um, it's just there's two hurricanes like literally 800 to over 1,000 miles away from each other. Like Franklin's here and Idalia's there. I mean, that's crazy. There's two storms. And it's an El Nino year, folks, and we're seeing two storms at the same time here. Not that far away from each other. Tony says Savannah. Yeah, Savannah, Georgia, we're expecting for storm surge up to 4 foot storm surge there. And then rainfall, we're seeing probably at least 2 inches of rain there in Savannah, Georgia, with possibly up to 4. The heaviest rain's a little west of you. And those are the isolated areas that could see up to a foot of rain, too. So that's what we're seeing there. And then obviously probably tropical storm force winds rather than hurricane force for you there in Savannah. So we're certainly not talking about 100-mile-per-hour winds there. Yeah, see, like right there, probably I would say between 50 and 70-mile-per-hour winds as that moves in for Savannah, Georgia. That's why those tropical storm warnings are out for Savannah as well. Thank you, folks, for being here. I really do appreciate it. I try not to be boring on these live streams. I don't live stream, when I live stream, but I don't live stream too often. I do videos on my YouTube channel more often. I do live streams when I can to keep you guys ahead of the storm. No, it's not a Cat 4 yet. It could be a Cat 4. It's not a guarantee. It's just still a possibility. It's going to be a Category 3. I am fully expecting when the National Hurricane Center updates the cone of uncertainty here later on tonight, it's going to be a Cat 3. I fully expect that. And it's crazy. This hurricane's moving to the north still at 16 miles an hour as well. Looks like a big severe weather event. Well, 7th of September is about a week away, and I don't even know what area are you talking about, Rare Breed? What area in the United States? Yeah, no worries, TF. But again, if you're just joining TF, like I said earlier, it doesn't really matter the numerical value of how strong this is. If it's a Cat 2, a Cat 3, Cat 4, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. It just matters about the impacts. Some of the impacts of the Cat 2 could be similar to Cat 4 in some aspects. I mean, it's still going to be producing a lot of rain, a lot of storm surge, a lot of wind. So at the end of the day, yes, a Cat 4 is stronger than a Cat 2 and 3 and vice versa, but it's all the same impact. You're still going to see storm surge, you're still going to see destructive winds, and you're still going to see flash flooding. It's just going to happen naturally. So it's just a number, really. They just categorize it, for good reason. It's just the intensity of the storm, but I'm just saying. My mom drives a truck for FedEx and is going to be Greensboro, South Carolina around 8 a.m., then headed back to Fort Worth. Is she going to get hit? You're talking 8 a.m. tomorrow on Saturday, or on Saturday. I'm already jumping ahead a few days. On Wednesday at 8 a.m. 8 a.m. on Wednesday. So let's go here. Let's go back to the outer bands there are going to be moving into South Carolina, more so along the coast, but there could be as far north as Columbia there. I'm not really. Where's Greensboro at? Let me look here. I'm not really too familiar where Greensboro is. I'm not really around. I live in the Midwest, so I apologize. Let me see where Greensboro is here. Oh shoot. Let's see. Greensboro, North Carolina. Um. Oh, you're okay. Greensboro, North Carolina. Okay. No, yeah, you're fine. Your mom will be fine tomorrow. If it's in North Carolina, you'll be good. Yeah, the outer bands don't even reach North Carolina really until about, midday, and really not even until the afternoon. And by the time it reaches Greensboro, I mean, we're not even talking about anything that much. Just some rain up there. Weaker tropical storm, if anything. Oklahoma. No, there's absolutely not. I'm sorry. No, there's not going to be. No way. No. There's not going to be any severe weather for the first probably 10 days of September for the central and southern plains. There's a big ridge of high pressure that's going to be sitting over that area, and you're going to see lots of sunshine and heat. So absolutely not going to happen. No severe weather. That is a 150% chance of no severe weather. Yeah, that high pressure, I'll show you real quick here. There's no way that's happening because let's see. This is the height anomaly. Look at into next week. This is the first few days of September, and look at that. It just sits over the plains. And let's go back to the 12Z here. It just sits over the plains, and on the 7th, yeah, look at that. This is the 7th right there. Thursday the 7th, the high pressure is not going anywhere. If we see any severe weather, it'll be in southern and Canada or the Pacific Northwest. So, and I guarantee those areas probably don't have enough dew point. Dew point is a measure of moisture in the atmosphere. I guarantee those areas won't have high enough dew points for severe weather, uh, for anything significant. Yeah, look at these temperatures, folks. I mean, it's going to get hot. It's definitely going to get hot out there. Yep. Let's see. And we'll look at the precip real quick. Yeah, there there could be some storms, but there's not going to be anything wind shear wise for severe weather. Look at the jet streams way up to the north. There's no support for widespread severe weather in, Kansas or Oklahoma. I can't rule out a quarter size hailstone here or there, or 60-mile-per-hour downburst winds, but it's not going to be an MCS, a mesoscale convective system, or no, not going to happen. No chance in the Midwest either. Absolutely not. No. Atlanta, Georgia. Right now, Atlanta, Georgia, we're expecting some rain. Let me go back to the HRRR. We're expecting some rain there in Atlanta, and I'll tell you when here. And once I get my map on here from Tropical Tidbits, let's see. There could be some rain here with some outer bands that maybe late afternoon on Wednesday into the early Wednesday evening, but it's not going to be that much. We're talking in Atlanta at best for rainfall up to an inch, and that and we might not even see that much. So the heaviest is going to be southeast Georgia into the eastern Carolinas. The outer banks of the Carolinas, yeah, storm surge. Yes, storm surge is going to be a problem. Onshore flow, we're going to see all the water, not all the water, you guys get what I mean. From the ocean, there's going to be onshore flow as it moves up here, and I'll go back here to show the radar what it could look like. See, as the system moves in and it's like right along the coast there, we're going to have all these bands from off into the western Atlantic move into the Carolinas with the onshore flow there. So that's where we could be seeing that tornado risk. That's where it's going to be maximized. So I'd be more concerned about tornadoes, but even storm surge is going to be an issue here. So just make sure you're prepared for that on the outer banks of the Carolinas. Absolutely. Make sure you're ready. Storm surge could be as high as 4 feet as of now, in some of those areas, from Wilmington down to Charleston, Myrtle Beach, those areas there. So Cape Hatteras could see up to 3-4 foot storm surge. That far north. Yeah, you're welcome. There's no. You wish there was snow in the Midwest, didn't you, Benjamin? Not yet. Don't get ahead of yourself. I'm sure we'll see some cold weather here pretty soon, so enjoy the warmer weather while we have it. It should be beautiful in the Midwest tomorrow, folks. Go outside and enjoy it. Tomorrow is going to be 70-degree weather and sunny skies. It could not get any better into the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, the Northeast. Go walk the dog, go for a jog, go for a walk outside. Beautiful weather over the next couple days because the heat will be moving in next week. 90s expected up there. It might, Joey. It's possible. If it does, it'll be a low end Cat 4. I'm expecting a Cat 3 in the next update, and it shouldn't be too long. I'm not sure when the next advisory comes out from the National Hurricane Center, but it will be overnight tonight. There's Idalia here on the left and Franklin on the east. I like showing this satellite imagery because it looks cool with both the hurricanes on the imagery here, the satellite imagery. Yeah, this is infrared satellite imagery. It's pretty cool. All right. Let's see here. Sorry, folks. I'm just looking at some information coming in here through Twitter. Seeing some pictures of already some storm surge. So that's interesting. All right. All right, folks. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate it. Just wanted to update you on the situation as far as it goes with Hurricane Idalia. Just make sure to stay updated, stay informed on the system over the next couple of days. If you live in Florida, Georgia, the Carolinas, we'll get through this together, folks. We're all in it together. Whether you live in the Pacific Northwest or the Southeast, we all have your back down here in the Southeastern United States. We got you. We'll keep you covered here. Live updates on Twitter. If you have Twitter or X, make sure to follow me there. At HWeather420, I will be doing live updates throughout the day tomorrow, starting around mid-morning, around when it makes landfall through the afternoon to keep you updated. We'll be talking about different things as far as flash flooding goes, storm surge, strong winds, power outages, the whole 9 yards. We'll keep you updated, folks, on this system. So make sure to follow me there on Twitter or X at HWeather420. There will not be a weather video forecast tomorrow. There will not be. I will be coming out, though, either Thursday or Friday or sometime this weekend with my September weather forecast, what you guys can expect for September. So be looking out for that on my channel. So we'll be outlining what you can expect throughout the month, precipitation-wise, temperature-wise, severe weather, all that stuff, and maybe something along the words of frost. Yeah, we could be seeing some frost late September. We'll outline the areas that could be seeing an early frost this year as well. So make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like this live stream on the way out. Go watch my winter weather forecast. It's in the description down below the live stream here. Lots of great information on that if you're interested in what could happen this winter. We are entering into an El Nino winter. My fall forecast is on my channel as well. If you like seasonal weather videos, lots of great information there as well. Got a couple questions before I leave here. Linda says, what do you see for Panama City Beach, Florida for this storm? I see some storm surge there, but nothing that bad. Maybe up to 3-foot storm surge at worst case scenario for Panama City, and probably not even that. But there could be some heavier rainfall there. Definitely a possibility. Let's kind of look at this again. Like around the Panama City area, there could be rain. Heaviest rain will be well to the east. And there will be areas in Florida over here into the western panhandle that get not a drop of rain from this storm at all. So there will be areas that miss out. But if you're east of Panama City, especially towards like Tallahassee, Cedar Key there, really big storm surge in Cedar Key up to 15 feet. Definitely watching out for that. New York City had a snow drought last year. Might be the same this year. I'm not expecting that. I'm actually expecting a lot of nor'easters this season. Go watch my winter weather forecast. I think you'll be surprised. Absolutely. Thank you so much for subscribing, RC. Thank you. You stay safe too, Brenda. Thank you for being here. And I do appreciate, everybody being here. Thank you again to Tony Wilson for the donation of $10. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I really do appreciate it. If anybody else wants to donate and support the channel on these live streams anytime, feel free to do so. You don't have to, of course. Just you being here and pressing the like button and stuff and subscribing to the channel and just your presence is amazing. So thank you. You're welcome, Linda. All right. Well, everybody stay safe out there. I hope everybody has a great rest of your Wednesday. And there's, it looks like one more question. How rare is it for Chicago to get remnants of a hurricane? Chicago is not getting this storm at all. This is going to peel out into the western Atlantic. Chicago is going to be very dry and very hot as we go into next week. So if you live in Chicago, enjoy the nice cool weather tomorrow. Beautiful weather up there in the Chicagoland area. Milwaukee, Madison, Wisconsin, La Crosse, all those areas, Des Moines, Twin Cities. Enjoy the cooler weather. 70s, sunshine tomorrow, 90s and heat. Another heat wave to next week. So not as hot as what we just got out of, but something to keep an eye on there. And before I leave, I'll just outline the weather forecast for you folks. We'll get away from talking about Idalia for a minute. This is kind of what you can expect going into next week. Just talking about the weather forecast. Since I'm not doing a video tomorrow, I'll kind of do a brief preview of what you can expect. So we got the heat out west, desert southwest going into the day tomorrow, northwest flow across the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, and the Northeast. You got that trough up here in southeastern Canada. You know, troughs bring cooler weather. Then we have more of a transition day of weather on Thursday and Friday, and then we have the heat building. You see the maroon reds out here in the Great Plains. Yeah, the drought's going to continue to worsen, unfortunately, for Texas and much of these areas here into the Midwest and the Central Plains, even the upper Midwest, going into early September. And it's going to heat up. We have a trough moving in across the Pacific Northwest, so it'll be cooling down out here. And definitely seeing some warmer weather amplifying across the eastern United States, and that'll stick around. It has staying power. I think the first 10 days of September, we're in the heat wave bubble there, really from the Rockies on east as we go in through September 10th and 11th timeframe. The Climate Prediction Center does forecast well above average temperatures and below average precipitation for much of the eastern two-thirds of the country as we go through the first 10, 11 days of September. So high and dry is the name of the game there. So no weather forecast tomorrow. So this is what you got. So I'll have an update on Thursday for you folks with another forecast. Otherwise, have a great rest of your evening. Stay safe out there, folks. I'll have live Twitter updates, and I hope everybody has a great rest of their night. Stay safe out there. Have a great Wednesday, and for Weather on the Go, have a good night, everybody.